Welcome to Lunch Break Reviews. I'm Bradley Butin, your self-proclaimed Emperor of Awesome. Here we dive into the best and sometimes the worst of what's playing at the movies. Each week I'll spotlight one big release and put it through the lunch break point system, rating everything from its main course to its leftover appeal. We'll cover a couple of reviews, the box office buzz, and my own take on whether this movie deserves a place in your lunch break lineup, all in about 30 minutes or less. For more reviews and TV shows and comics and all the good stuff, check out our mini episodes on TikTok and YouTube throughout the week. Now let's get into it. Let's recap last week's top box office and then get into this week's movie that was voted. Actually, this one wasn't voted. I knew exactly what we were going to do. I came close from talking to a few people. It was either going to be Wicked or it was going to be Gladiator. So I ended up doing a mini episode of Gladiator 2, which is out right now, and we're going to do a full episode of Wicked. All right, so just to recap, number 5 top movie for last week, and this is going to be the November 15th through the 17th, is The Wild Robot. Is still hanging in there. It's been in there for 8 weeks, and it made $4.2 million last week with a grand total of right now sitting at about $139 million. Heretic has been out for 2 weeks, made $5 million over last weekend with a total of $23 million. The Best Christmas Pageant Ever has been out for 2 weeks and sitting at $5.3 million for the weekend and a total of $23 million. I think that's going to go up a little bit this week. I think a lot of people went to it. Venom 3 is still hanging in there on second place at $7.3 million with a total of $131 million. It's been out for 4 weeks. Red 1, this is opening weekend for Red 1. That, of course, takes number 1 spot at $32 million with a total of $43 million altogether. There it is. So let's get into our spotlight on Wicked. Part 1. This was released on November 22nd. IMDb has this one sitting at an 8.2 out of 10. It's got about 9,000 reviews at this time. Rotten Tomatoes has it on the tomato meter at about 89%, and on the popcorn meter at about damn near perfect, at 98%. Quick synopsis of it is: Elphaba, a misunderstood young woman because of her green skin, and Glinda, or Glinda, a popular girl, becomes friends at Shiz University in the Land of Oz. After an encounter with the wonderful Wizard of Oz, their friendship reaches a crossroads. Top billing. This was directed by John M. Chu. Written by Winnie Holzman, Dana Fox, Gregory Maguire. Main cast: Cynthia Erivo, who I think will probably get an Oscar for this because damn, she's fantastic in this. Ariana Grande, Jonathan Bailey, Marissa Bodie, Ethan Slater, Michelle Yeoh, and the one and the only Jeff Goldblum. I got a critic consensus taken from Rotten Tomatoes. It says, defying gravity with its magical pairings of Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, Wicked's sheer bravura and charm make for an irresistible invitation to Oz. And I agree. And the audience consensus on the movie is fly, do not run to see Wicked, a bewitching musical experience chanted by a spellbinding cast. And they're not wrong. Let's get into some reviews, shall we? As always, we're going to start with the old, and some of these are pretty long, so you're going to have to bear with me. So here we go. Let's start with the bad. All right, this is a 1 out of 10 from Bobby Martini, 869473471, dated for the 19th of November, and is called A CGI-Fueled Mess. Warning: spoilers. Where to start? Wicked is a musical with music and lyrics by Steven Schwartz and a book by Winnie Holzman. It is a loose adaptation of the 1995 Gregory Maguire novel Wicked, The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West, which in turn is based on L. Frank Baum's 1900 novel The Wonderful Wizard of Oz and its 1939 film adaptation. The musical is told from the perspective of two witches, Elphaba and Glinda, before and after Dorothy's arrival in Oz. The story explores the complex friendship between Elphaba, who becomes the Wicked Witch of the West, and Glinda, who becomes Glinda the Good. The relationship is tested by their contrasting personalities, conflicting viewpoints, shared love, interest, reactions to the corrupt rule of the wonderful wizard, and ultimately Elphaba's tragic fall. That's the plot. Stick with it because this film is a con, because it's only the first half of the story. It's not called Wicked Part 1, but trust me, that's all you're getting here. Which is Wicked Part 1. But anyway, that's all you're getting because the filmmakers are deceiving you. Too cowardly to tell you the truth. You've got to wait another year for part 2, but don't bother. You'll thank me later. As for performances, well, Ariana Grande doesn't look like herself due to the amount of plastic surgery she's had. This results in her looking like an AI creation wandering about the screen. As for Cynthia Erivo, well, we all know how insecure she is thanks to her complete overreaction of the fan-made poster recently. She is completely miscast in this movie. A competent singer, yes. Overactor, definitely. Her vocal range is incredible, but her acting range is limited. They should have cast somebody else. Song-wise, there's a reason you only ever hear is the song Defying Gravity. It's the only decent song in the musical. The rest are forgettable, boring drudge. Jeff Goldblum is fine, but not even his talent can save this mess. I'll never get those 2 hours back. Actually, it's 3 hours, so there's that. And you know what, man, I disagree in almost all your points, but hey, that's not the point. Your review is your review. Let's check out another battle. Okay, I got a 1 out of 10 from Shali Kolosowitz from the 20th of November, and it's called My Eyes Are Bleeding and My Brain is Dying from how bad this movie was. If you're going to watch Wicked, be prepared for 2 hours and 40 minutes of absolute torture. This movie is a prime example of them putting so much lessons in a movie they forgot to make a storyline. Seriously, the first 10 minutes were okay, but it was all downfall from there. It was so absolutely mind-numbingly boring that at least 8 people left halfway through. You know how some shows they offer promotional items for sale like a themed popcorn box? They should offer green Advil or something. Every plot twist was predictable. Every song was just cringe. Overall, a wasted 2 hours and 40 minutes. Even for die-hard fans of the book, it was, if my worst enemy asked me to watch, I couldn't bring myself to recommend this trash. All right. Wow. That's some haterade. Let's do another bad review. This is a 1 out of 10 from DRMJ Adams. We're going to call it Dermj Adams. Dermj Adams from the 20th of November, and it's called Executed in the Poorest Way Possible. This movie did not have a lot going for it in the first place. The generic marketing, the terrible PR that exposed the immortalities of Ariana Grande and Ervo, the split of 2 movies, and the clear manner of how they didn't not stay true to the original. Okay. The most evident poor adjustment was how the entire movie, which is just Act 1, is longer than both Act 1 and 2 of the stage versions. Marketing team obviously had no idea what they're doing. Almost everything was geared towards children, but that was a bad idea considering the length, which must be too long for children to enjoy, and the fact that this movie was released with an original millennial fan base. When you begin to cater to people other than those who will actually enjoy it, you lose much of your substance. I work at a movie theater, and there was a lot of people enjoying this movie. A lot. You know what? Let's be done with these bad reviews. Let's hit some good reviews. Or this is a 10 out of 10 from Christian94, dated on the 20th of November, and is called impossibly better than the musical. I saw the pre-screening of the movie yesterday and saw the musical in London's West End years ago. In both cases, what a show. I have been waiting for this release since the original project had Stephen Daldry tied to it and he exited due to scheduling conflicts. Winnie Holzman wrote the book for of the musical and the screenplay. She shines in both instances. However, the movie being longer than the whole musical, 160 minutes versus 150 minutes, and representing only Act 1, she had the chance to put in more layers and definitely more humor. Director John M. Chu does not miss a brat with this amazing Aor's. Okay, I'm gonna miss a beat with this amazing source material and screenplay. Let's do that. He makes the best use of Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande's singing talents, and also directs them in surprisingly nuanced acting performances. Jonathan Bailey is a nice looking addition to the cast and adds bravado and the right level of conflict and wonder with this character. After the adequate first 20-30 minutes, we get the Power of the Wizard and I song of the Secure Our Awes immersion. The rest of the movie is a blur of brilliant scene after scene and spectacular visual renditions of other beloved songs like Popular and Defying Gravity. I had high expectations for the music, but was even more impressed by the storytelling, acting, editing, and visual effects. A lot of marvelous details down to the peculiar language of certain words in the screenplay to make it one of the best movies of 2024. Oscar noms for sure. And one of the best movie musicals of all time. Can't wait for part 2 next year in movie theaters and may have to go see it on Broadway live again before that. Moreover, and not a small point, the underlying message of resilience and resistance to fear-mongering authority, falsehood and justifications, division, oppression, and manipulation of public opinion is much needed in this decade of deceit. Free speech and democracy. Let's all defy gravity. Well said. Great review. We got some more good reviews. Let's do it. Okay, this is a 10 out of 10. It's from E.E. Johnson on the 21st of November. I initially watched this movie in a Big D theater on Monday as part of the Amazon Prime sneak peek. I just finished watching it for the second time, and since I have one of those deals where you can watch 3 movies in a week, I will be going again this Sunday. To say that my expectations for this movie were unfair is an understatement. But I've seen this on stage and listened to the Broadway soundtrack for 2 decades, but I can honestly say that this movie went far beyond my high expectations in delivering a movie that is hands down the best book to stage to movie adaptation I've ever watched. As I sat there stunned with the rest of the audience on Monday, the only word I can think of is gobsmacked. Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande were perfectly cast and managed to make Elphaba and Glinda their own, while literally paying homage to Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth. Grande is exceptional at comedic timing. Anyone who's watched her on SNL knows she's hilarious. But it's when there are more nuanced moments between her, Glinda, and Erivo's Elphaba, where she is at her best, and Erivo's performance mind blowing. The depth of emotions she conveys with her eyes are scene stealing. Supporting cast is great, but I will not be surprised if both Grande and Erivo nab Oscar noms for this movie. I wouldn't either. I'm pretty sure Erivo will. I'm like 99.9% sure because she gave a performance of a lifetime. So let's do one more good one. This is a 10 out of 10 from Kesha McClure-Hunley on the 18th of November, and it's titled From Skeptical to Stunned. Hollywood often takes adaptations and halfway creates them to just be a means to an end of the gathering of money of a fan base. This didn't happen with Wicked. The film was handled with care and a keen eye. It holds extremely close to the stage play with its own movie magic flair. Even though I don't prefer some of the cast members, otherwise they were perfectly cast and played their characters with all of their being. This movie is a movie musical perfection. From the seats to all the visuals to the vocals and music arrangements, the colors were vivid as the emotions portrayed. The only thing disappointing is the wait for the second half. Okay, let me know your thoughts on these reviews or the movie. It's time to get into the lunch break point system, and here's how it works. I have 5 points per category, and I got 5 categories for a total of 25 points. Those categories are main course. How satisfying is the movie overall? Side dish. Supporting elements like cast and cinematography. Spice levels. Is it exciting or intense? Leftover appeal. Would you want to watch it again? Or does it fade fast? Dessert. The extra special something that makes it memorable. Let's do this together. I think on the main course, how satisfying is the movie overall? I was pretty satisfied with it. I don't know much about the Broadway, never seen it. I've never listened to any of the music. I'm going to give it this a 4. Side dish, supporting element like cast and cinematography. Man, there is no second guessing. This is going to be 5 points there all of the way. And spice level, is this exciting or intense? It was definitely exciting and intense. It kept me hooked. It kept me hooked pretty much through the entire thing. I'm going to go ahead and give this a 4. Leftover appeal. Would I watch it again, or does it fade fast? I will watch this again. I have kids. I have kids that are girls. And this movie maybe wasn't 100% for me. It is for them, and they loved it. I liked watching it with my kid, and I would love to watch it with my wife. So this is getting a 4 there. And last, dessert, the extra special, something that makes it memorable. I'm going to give this a 5 for that. I watched it with my daughter, and she was just in awe. She was in awe of the movie. She loved it. She walked out. She wanted to tell everybody about it. So right now, out of the 25, we have 10. We have 22 points. Can I give it anything extra? Can I give it an extra? I think the extra points would be for snack factor. Was it quicker, fun, and easy to digest? No, I don't think so. I think I'll be thinking about it for a little while. Was it a broad appeal for all audiences? Maybe. Does it spark conversation long after viewing? You know what? I think we're going to give it a lunch crowd. Broad appeal to all audience. I think that there is something for everybody. You know what? No. I think there's a lot of people who won't go see it because they're not into musicals. You have to have that special taste. So I think for that alone, I can't give it that. I think we are going to. I think we're not going to give it any of the extra points. We're going to stick with the 22 points. I think that's it. We have 22 points. We are going to put this on the lunch break point system. And just a rundown of what we've reviewed in movies. We've Heretic at 22 points. Red 1, 14 points. Gladiator 2 is brand new to the point system score sheet. That's at 20. And Wicked is at 22. It is a tie for my best reviewed movie. That actually does surprise me. But once going through Gladiator 2, I thought Gladiator 2 was going to take the Glickid for me, but it didn't. So it is what it is. Let's talk about my top 5 anticipations for this coming up week. Moana. Moana 2, Wednesday. That is just going to take over everything. The show Cross. I knew it came out. I haven't had a chance to watch it because I've been so busy. I got to check it out. Next Saturday is WWE War Games. That's 3rd on my list. 4, there's a new show on Paramount called Landman. I can't wait for that. And on number 5, Green Arrow number 18 comes out. I am stoked for it. All right, let's talk about the upcoming releases for the week of November 29th. Really, there's not much. It's Thanksgiving. So we got a Thanksgiving coming up Wednesday on the 27th. Moana 2. Here's a quick synopsis. If you've been under a rock. After receiving an unexpected call from her wayfinding ancestors, Moana must journey to the far seas of Oceania and into the dangerous, long-lost waters for an adventure unlike anything she's ever faced. All right. What movie are you most excited for to see this coming up week? Where would you rank this week's movie spotlight? Do you agree with my rating on the lunch break point system? Which movie do you think will win the box office race? Will it be Gladiator 2 or will it be Wicked? I think it's going to be Wicked. I think it's going to be. All right. You can follow me on Facebook at Nerd Positive, YouTube Nerd Positive 1, TikTok at Nerd Positive, or movies.bs. Instagram, I'm at the Fandemic one. You can support the show at buymeacoffee.com/nerdpositive or patreon.com/nerdpositive. Join the Pod Council of Nerds for exclusive content. And that's a wrap on this week's Lunch Break Reviews. Thanks for tuning in and joining me, the self-proclaimed Emperor of Awesome, Bradley Butin. If you enjoyed today's dive into the top box office hits and misses, don't forget to subscribe and leave a 5-star review. Catch our minisodes throughout the week on TikTok and YouTube, and a little bit later on your podcast feed. For all things TV shows and comics, until next time, keep watching, keep reading, and keep being awesome. See you next Sunday, same time, same place, for another edition of Lunch Break Reviews.